name is Chris Thayer, and I'd just like to say that it is my true honor to be speaking to you today about Jack Barrett. I've been blessed to know him for the past 18 years. He's not only been the best father-in-law that anyone could imagine, but also a friend of the father. As most of you know, I'm married to Jack's youngest daughter, Patty. As you would hear Jack say, well, hello, Pot. You guys called her Pot. Jack was loved by his family and friends, and he dearly loved them. Jack and Ruth have been married for 57 years, which is a true testimony to his dedication to his wife and his family. Now, as Ruth will tell you, it wasn't always easy, but she said it was worth it. Jack was just one of 11 children that grew up in Jessup, Pennsylvania. And then right after high school, Jack enlisted in the United States Army for 4 years. He bravely served our country in the Korean War as a field artillery soldier. He was actually in Korea for 16 months, and for 3 days he was surrounded by the enemy. At that time, Jack made a deal with God. He said if he made it out alive, that he would become a priest. Unfortunately, he attended Mass afterwards, absolving all soldiers from their promises. But it's fortunate for me because I have my wife and children. And our family. Instead, though, they were challenged to faithfully attend Mass. And Jack was true to his word. Did I mention he was dedicated? Wherever we traveled, he would always get the yellow pages, find the local Catholic church, call them up, find out what time Mass was, and he would go. He faithfully went, no matter where we were. Jack was a highly decorated member of the Army. He actually received 6 different awards and 6 battle stars. And after he was honorably discharged from the service, Jack took several jobs along the way. He met Ruth. He started at Chrysler working as a truck driver. Jack and Ruth were married in 1958. They moved to Dearborn, where Jack continued to work at Chrysler Engineering. He actually worked there for 35 years. Again, did I say he was a dedicated guy? Jack and Ruth had 6 daughters, one of which Sharon died 11 days after being born. Jack will actually be buried with Sharon. In 1967, Jack and Ruth decided to move to Heartland, where they built a home. Carpenter, woodworker. They kind of became hillbillies at that point. They lived it. Jack took a lot of pride in that, I think. Not the hillbilly part. He really did, though. He took a lot of pride, not only in his family and in the farm and the animals, but just in helping his neighbors and people. A lot of he volunteered as a firefighter. He was very active at St. John's, St. Vincent de Paul Society. As a member of the VFW, he worked preparing the fish fries. He's a captain in the Honor Guard. Jack volunteered for Habitat for Humanity and helped many people in need, even taking Ruth to Georgia for 6 months. And they went to Toronto for 3 weeks. He continued to work locally for Habitat throughout the remainder of his life. Jack really did help his neighbors and friends and family. You know, Jack, Ruth, you and Jack, you helped Patty and I over and over. You would come to our home. They would come stay for 2 days at a time, helping us raise our small children so that Patty and I could both work. And again, dedicated. Did I mention that he was dedicated? He really enjoyed helping all of his children and grandchildren. Jack was a son. He was a brother. He was a gifted high school football star. He was a brave Army soldier. He was a boxer. He was teaching my son how to box. I said, I don't know if that's a good idea. He was a truck driver. He was a mechanic, a husband. He was a father. He was a godfather. He was an uncle. He was a crooner, as you know. He was a farmer. Apparently he was a really bad fence builder. I didn't write all of this. He was a water miser. He had a full head of shampoo, and the hot water would disappear. Jack would be in the basement turning off the hot water. It was too long. Jack was a fireman. He was his daughter's date's worst nightmare. He was the mayor of Heartland. He was a father-in-law. He was a grandpa. My kids, we call him Poppy, or Pop. He was a house builder. Deanie, this is for you. He was a tinkerer and a jerry-rigger. He was a letter writer. In Ireland, Jack was known as a wee lad. He was an internet thing delegator. He was a neighbor. He was a man's man. He was a great friend. Jack was a devout Catholic and deeply loved. He was very deeply loved. Jack always led by example. We've all been so blessed to have had Joseph Barrett be part of our lives.